Well, hi everyone. I think that means there's my cue. So I just wanted to say a big hi. Thank you for everyone who has joined us. I want to say a big thank you as well to the team before we start for inviting me back again. It's always an absolute pleasure to come and have a chat with everyone. So I'm going to introduce myself and then I'll go into what we're going to be talking about. My name is Aly. I have had my YouTube channel for about 8 years now, and I produce travel content for a living, and it's been my full-time job for about, gotta say, it's coming up to 5 or 6 years now, which is absolutely insane. So today I want to come on and just have a chat with you about getting your voice heard on such a crowded platform, and how you already hold the key to standing out without you kind of even knowing it. Because YouTube can be such an intimidating platform to get onto because it's so overwhelming and completely crowded with just screams of creators all vying for views and subscribers, attention, fame, that it can become super overwhelming. So we're going to talk about how you already kind of hold the key to standing out on such a crowded platform. And then we'll go into like mastering your own style, which can be really hard, especially like going in front of a camera for the first time. I'm going to give you some hints, tips, and also some hard truths on that as well. And then about speaking like into the void when you can't see your audience, and how to read them, how to know if you're doing the right thing or not. And then, yeah, we'll have a little bit of a chat about the pandemic. Fun, I know, but how 2020 really affected me and my creative style and how I went forward with everything, because hopefully you'll be able to take a lot from what I learned during that time. So yes, let's talk about standing out. By the way, I will be answering questions throughout, so if there are any, I'll keep my eye on the side. So if you see me looking away for just a minute, then don't worry. I'll try and do some as we go. If not, I'll leave them to the end and we'll chat then. So standing out. So it's going to be really cheesy. I'm really sorry if it's going to sound super cheesy, but the greatest power you have on such a crowded platform like YouTube is yourself. You are one of a kind. You are so unique. But the problem is most people, when they think about creating videos, they think about creating any kind of content online to get a message out, is they become cookie cutters of everyone else who is successful. The thing is, we already have a Casey Neistat, we already have a Mr. Beast, we already have a Markiplier or a PewDiePie. We don't need them again. You know what I mean? And people think that the power to standing out is a super high budget for that video, or fancy equipment, you know, mics, fancy cameras with loads of different lenses. But time and time again throughout my years on the platform, people consistently tell me they just come back for me, which really made me think, now you holding this power of you're the only one with this exact mixture of life experience, family, friends, places you've been, things you've seen, things you love, things you hate, your little quirks all come together to make you super unique. And you really need to harness that. It's so important that you don't become like everyone else, but that is really hard to do. Now, I don't want to talk in the next 50, 60 minutes about SEO, how to make a thumbnail. Those are all really important, like super important things. And I will briefly touch on it a little bit later. But the reason I won't be delving in is, one, it's extremely dull to talk about those things. Two, there's thousands of videos and like blog posts, courses that you can take to learn all that stuff. That's the easy bit. Those are skills. The hardest thing is harnessing your voice and figuring out who you are. Because the thing is, your message that you have to put across, maybe it's information, maybe it's entertainment, whatever it is, your why, which we'll come on to as well, could be the same as 1,000 other creators on the platform at any given moment. And the only way you're going to stand out with the same or similar message or approach is that you throw yourself into it and you are unapologetically you. And you really need to own that. You need to own your quirks. Maybe you swear too much. That's fine. YouTube won't monetize you probably, but that's fine. Maybe you love editing and you have a really a quirky style in how you want to edit and upload compared to other people. And you've got to learn to own that. It's really important that you harness your superpower of being you, because this will ensure longevity. I don't ever give people advice on SEO and thumbnails. Whilst they're important because you need to get that message out for people to first see you, harnessing your message and your why will give you longevity on YouTube. It just will, because the rest are all short-term goals. Getting someone to click your video is fine, but you're not going to build an audience. You're not going to build a community in the long run, if you constantly just pander to an algorithm, if you're constantly just working on your SEO and making sure that this video goes viral or whatever the case may be, you need to start looking at yourself and putting that out first before you worry about anything like that. Because for me, like, I don't own a drone. As a travel vlogger, that's very rare. And I do not pander to like Instagram algorithms and things like that because I just don't care about it. And it's because I keep reminding myself of the why. So when I started back 2012, 2013, I should have checked that. It's been almost like 9 years now that I've been on YouTube. I started in my damp university lodgings, and I had a £40 camera that I got off Amazon or eBay or something. And I sat down in my dirty cold room at university, and I just started chatting about things I'd learned from solo trips I'd taken around Europe. Suddenly for me, back then, there weren't a ton of creators. Now everyone wants to be a travel blogger. Everyone wants to be a content creator, obviously, and travel the world and get paid to do it. But back when I started, it was quite sparse. I think I was very lucky to start my channel when I did, because there weren't thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands of creators trying to vie for this spot of doing travel content. And after what I learned on the road, going around the world, I was like, do people know that you can travel this cheap, that you can find this and do this on a budget? I was like, people need to know about this. So that's what I did. I just started talking to a camera. And oh my, was it awkward. We're going to get onto that, but it was awkward. But that was my why. I wanted to create the videos that I searched for before my trip because I couldn't find them. I wanted to know how much a bus ticket was and if they ran on time and what they looked like. What did the bus station look like? The train station. I wanted to know that before I went. I wanted a visual and someone to just tell me one-on-one, this is, you know, what it's going to be like when you get here. So that was my why. I wanted to provide information to people and make that connection. And I always have to remind myself that whenever I come to do a video, because I've lost it before, my why and what I'm doing. And it leads to burnout and things like that. So you got to like go back to the start, your message, your why, and just always remember that no matter what, no matter how many views you're getting, if you're not getting views, if you're getting loads of views, if you're getting hate comments, you've got to remember that. Okay, we have a question which I'm going to jump into. How do you maintain authenticity and not offend or irritate other people without becoming too bland? Okay. I would not worry about offending people. I was going to mention this later, but I'll mention it now. It's a hard truth. We're only 10 minutes in, some hard truths already. Not everyone is going to like you. You are not going to please everyone who stumbles across your videos. You are going to get hate comments. But you need to own who you are. If people don't like you, that is on them. It's not on you at all. You need to really have confidence in yourself, which will come in time. But that's why I was going to get onto, which will make a lot of sense with this question, actually. Don't pander to your audience. Don't pander to what other people want from you, because then you just become working for them and doing whatever they want and being the personality that they want to see. If they don't like you, they don't have to watch your videos. And that is the hard truth. And it takes a long time to grow thick skin and really just harness who you are. People have called me every name under the sun, and that's just the truth. I'm very lucky I don't get that many hate comments, but with over 200,000 followers and been doing this for 9 years, and I've produced, must be close to 800 videos now in that time, not everyone's going to like you. I mean, obviously, you can offend someone and irritate people if you say horrible, nasty things. Obviously, don't do that. But just by being you, once you've come to peace with that, like I want you to at the beginning, that this is who I am and this is what I want to do, and never forget that, then it kind of is water off a duck's back. People aren't going to like you. That's fine. They can move on. You can move on. So long as you're creating what makes you happy, then everything should be okay. But yeah, you have to grow a bit of a thick skin. So yeah, my reasons for doing all this did not base around numbers. And I know that's why a lot of people want to get into this space, is for numbers. It's for money. It's for subscribers. It's for views. And I think every creator will tell you, Do not do it for those reasons. Do not. You will fail. Focus on your message. Focus on finding out who you are in this space. Because after a while of listening to yourself, you're going to start noticing your preferences and your quirks. You know what I mean? You're going to figure out who you are in this space. And then you've just got to grab onto it and go for it. Okay. Just trust me on that one. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is mastering your own style. I won't give you technical tips. For example, though, if you're starting, like, make sure you have good lighting. Like, I'm sat just in front of a window. This is quite nice, soft, natural lighting because there's clouds. You can use your phone to film because phones are incredible these days and do film in full HD 1080p. But I really want to talk about filming your first videos on YouTube because they are the scariest, because all you're surrounded with at all times is the successful creators, the ones who are making it, the ones with all the views and subscribers and things like that. That's all you're surrounding yourself with. So you think you have to jump from bottom to top straight away. And it doesn't work like that at all. You need to use your first videos as like practice runs, like stop thinking and just press record. It is going to be awkward to sit in front of a camera. The good thing to know is that it's a skill. It's something that you can learn. And it's not, most people are not naturally good at sitting and talking to a camera. My first videos are so cringeworthy, so cringeworthy. And going back to our saying about larger creators, they private a lot of their first videos or delete them completely off of YouTube, which I can understand even looking back on mine, even though I've left mine up just for comedic value, to be honest. But they've deleted them. So again, all you're seeing is the end result. You're seeing the years and years and years of practicing, doing video after video after video. So please don't compare yourself, is all I'm saying. Because unless you followed a career from the very beginning to see their journey, you miss all of those years of awkward, long pauses, all of that. And the awful camera quality and terrible audio, awful lighting. You can barely see them. Back in the glory days of YouTube, like early 2000s, there were good times, but you don't see that. And you've got to remember that everyone on YouTube started there. There are some people who will just barge onto the scene with the most expensive camera, and good for them. Don't worry about them. Forget about them. You need to focus on yourself, and you need to get out of your head. I know you'll be sat there thinking, I don't want to post this video, or I can't even start to film this video. And what you need to realize is no one's watching you right now. At the beginning, no one will be looking at you. You will not have a following. You may not even get any views on your videos. So use this time to really play, like dance in the rain, like no one is watching you, because no one is watching you. Now is the time for you to experiment. Figure out what you want. Do you want to talk in front of a camera? It's okay if you don't. I totally get it. It's really awkward. Some people do just voiceovers. Some people talk from behind a camera. They might go for a walk, or they're a travel vlogger and they'll talk behind the camera, which is what I sometimes do, because I still get embarrassed to film myself in public. Even though I get paid to do that, I still feel this twang of awkwardness. And when I can start traveling again, I don't know how I'm going to survive, because it's been so long. Sorry, excuse me. Since I've done that now. So just play. But the thing is, you're going to have to post those videos, because I know what you're going to do. You're going to sit there. You may have filmed it and you're going to edit it and watch it back 1,000 times and cringe. I'm like, oh my God, this is terrible. And you're not going to publish it. You need to publish it, because no one's watching. You need to put things out there. You need to get out of your head. Stop thinking about filming the video and publishing it. Film the video and publish it. Because accept that the first 50 videos are going to be really cringy to watch back one day. And that's okay, because this is the only way you're going to learn. It's not a live stream. You can edit these videos. So just relax, breathe, do a voiceover maybe, stand behind the camera if you're showing something, and talk behind if that makes you more comfortable. But you're going to have to start filming yourself. And if you really want the tough love, you're going to have to get over it. And that's hard. You want to be on YouTube though, you just got to get over it. But it's okay, because think of it as a protection. No one's watching you. Absolutely no one. And that might be really disheartening at first, but use it as a time. I wish someone had told me that when I started, that use that as a time when no one's watching you to just have fun. Do anything. It doesn't matter, because that's how you're going to find your voice. That's how you're going to find your message, reinforce your why. It just takes practice. And talking to a camera is a skill. Again, great, because you can learn it. The only way you're going to learn it is if you do it again and again and again. And make sure you're publishing those videos as well, because it's going to give you a kick. Having them on your laptop isn't enough. You need to get them published and live, because it's going to get you over that fear. You know, it's going to move you ahead. And just try everything and anything, and follow the energy that you're feeling, because the one thing as you're going to continue on is that your passions are going to change. I've been around on this platform long enough, and I still do travel videos, but your passion and where it starts lying is going to shift, and you need to be really connected with that. Focus on where your energy is going, and don't beat yourself up over the fact that your passions are going to start changing and what energizes you starts changing, because that's exciting. It really is. Okay, speaking into the void is my next topic I want to talk about. And reading your audience when you can't see them. Let me tell you real quick, if you're worried about what your audience thinks or what your viewers think of your videos, they're going to be really quick to tell you in the comments. And this kind of goes back to that question. People aren't going to like you. Sorry, I didn't mean to say people aren't going to like you. Some people aren't going to like you. Not everyone is going to like you. And you're going to get a really good idea from your comment section. And it's so important to build that community. And when you start getting viewers and they start connecting with you, really just connect back with them, either social media or in your YouTube comment section. Really start talking with them. But you need to find a balance between giving the audience what they want and also making sure that what you're doing is sparking you joy at the same time. Because otherwise, if you don't find that balance, like again, I said, you start pandering to what people demand of you. Do this video, do that video. I don't like that you're doing that. So when you start building a community, obviously you want to offer them something. They're subscribed for a certain reason. Either it's information, escapism, entertainment. They come to know you for that. But don't pander. Like I can get someone say, oh, you should do a video like this. And I think about it, I'm like, that is a fantastic video idea, which could create a lot of value. But I don't want to film it. And so I don't. I just don't, because if I don't have the energy behind the creation, it will fall flat. I can go back and watch videos sometimes of mine, and sometimes I notice a little thing of me from ages ago. I'm like, oh, my heart wasn't in that video. And you can tell, it just comes across. So you need to find that balance when people start watching between what you want to do, what your message is, how you want to film it, how you want to present yourself and create that content, and also what your audience wants. So my first point of action is always, does this idea that someone has given me, or this kind of need I'm feeling from my audience or within the space I feel is missing? Because there's lots of things missing in spaces, and you're going to be there to fill them, only if they fill you with joy as well, though. Oh no, we're getting all Marie Kondo up in here. You need to make sure first that it fuels you, gives you that energy. Then afterwards, does it provide value? Does it provide the thing that I need to give to my audience? If they both align, bang, you've got a cracking video and you better get filming. Oh, we got a question. Do you think the skills of talking to the camera are transferable into the real world? Interesting. I would say pre-2020, I started getting a lot of speaking gigs. And I think talking on camera definitely has transferred well to me speaking in front of a crowd. I get way more nervous. Like this feels like, this is home, well, it is home to me. This feels like I'm home. I feel like I'm doing a live stream on YouTube. It's very comfortable, but it's almost like when I do presentations now, or if I'm at a conference or anything and I'm speaking in front of a crowd, it's like it switches on in my head. This, not performance, maybe it is a performance, like, but the energy, the confidence to just talk. Like before this stream, I'll be really open and honest. Before every talk I do, I'm like, I'm going to fail. I'm going to splutter over all of my words. I mean, we still have time. We're only 25 minutes in. there's still time for me to do that and embarrass myself as the professional I'm meant to be, giving you advice on how to talk to a camera. There's still time to watch me do that. But yeah, it's almost like an instinct now to be able to perform and talk and offer something to an audience, whether I can see them or not. So I suppose, yeah, talking to the camera is definitely transferred in the real world for me for speaking gigs and talking to people and trying to get a message across. That's a great question, though. I was not expecting that. So yeah, speaking to the void, reading your audience, really hard because it is, for a long time when no one's watching you, it's going to be blank. No one's really going to be, giving you anything in the comments. You barely get any views. So again, it's a time to play, explore, just have fun with creating in those early days. And then when viewers want to tell you what they think, you're going to know real quick, and you're going to take it all with a pinch of salt. It's the internet. I need you to remember that, okay? It's like I'm saying you are, like I know the kind of, sometimes it can get really hard online. I just want to prepare you, okay? Take it with a pinch of salt, okay? It's just the internet. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. Is it okay to have different subjects covered in the same channel? Does the diversity help attract an audience or put people off? Fantastic question, this one. This is great. So a niche. This has been, this hits really close to home for me, this one. Like, do you have a variety channel or a niche channel? PsychoTraveller for me is a niche channel. It's about more budget side travel. Not as budget as it used to be. As I've grown, my budget has slightly increased, but in general, a certain style to, traveling and vlogging and giving advice on traveling. Whereas my second channel is a complete variety channel that I've recently started, which I'm going to talk about next. So these questions are coming in at the perfect times. But the thing is, when someone subscribes to you and you want them to bring them back again and again and again, they're going to expect a certain thing. So if you start talking about beauty, fashion, travel, technology, they are going to expect that in your next video and the one after that. So if you start doing that, like I did with PsychoTraveller, you build your whole brand around travel. I can post other things on PsychoTraveller, and I have. I talk about mental health. We have like something called Real Talk. So adds a bit of variety and like chit chat videos between the traveling, which is nice to break up now and again. But I've tried other things that, for view wise and how much of my audience is interested, there'll always be people who will come back to those videos again and again and again if I decide to change up my content, but generally not. People are on my channel to watch travel videos. And I get a lot of comments saying, no, Ali, we're just coming to watch you. We love you. You can do whatever you want. I'm like, I'm flattered. Those comments are always lovely, but it is a travel channel, and it is difficult then because you are stuck unless you decide to drastically change up your niche and start going off. You will lose subscribers. So then you can think, do I start with a variety channel? But you can then, I'd say with a variety channel, talking of Aly's Other Life, which is what I started in 2020, when my business just shut down, it went bust, and like everything just stopped, obviously because I couldn't travel. That is a variety channel where I'm having fun, which is what I'm going to talk about next. But then it's hard because how do you brand that? How do you brand a variety channel? I'm kind of branding it around books, because I love reading, thrifting, charity shops, like home, lifestyle stuff, and kind of weaving my personality and editing into those videos to make it cohesive. So people with similar interests will, some videos will do better. I do videos on eBay, which always get high views on that second channel. That's not what I want to do. I've seen the big difference with a variety channel. Your views are going to be all over the place and it's going to be inconsistent. So you can do either, but with a niche following, it can also burn you out because, like I said, your passions are going to change, your energy is going to change. I couldn't travel, so I was like, oh my God, what do I do? But it's okay because you can move on and do other things. It's just you kind of need to be prepared for that and accept it. I was in denial for so long about my passions changing and maybe I didn't want to do this or that. I was like, oh no. And I've put myself in this box, this travel box, and I've been doing it for 8 years. So just understand that is the possibility, though. It's probably the most successful way you can run a channel. There are loads of exceptions, to be fair, of variety channels, vlogging and things like that. But I don't know if I answered your question. You can do either, but niche normally works best for gaining an audience because they know what they're going to get from you at the end of the day. Whereas a variety channel can be better for you for producing content, but it's harder to gain an audience because you're all over the place. That should have been my response. I'm sorry. Similar question just arrived. So would you have different Insta accounts for different interests, or do it all on one but differentiate with hashtags? Ooh, okay. So for Instagram, I would say when it comes to like being niche or variety, I have 2 accounts now. I have my PsychoTraveller and I have my Aly's of the Life for more lifestyle, bookish, thrifting, bargain content. But it depends on, if you can have an overarching theme like lifestyle, that's very broad and you're going to have to condense it down somehow if you're keeping with one Instagram account. Some people have one for fashion and beauty and then one for home and lifestyle. And that works really well for a lot of people. A lot of people like to do DIY, home renovation, just lifestyle stuff, things they picked up for the house, but they made a separate account for that because then it looks cohesive. Again, it's about building in that brand and that niche to make it look cohesive. So when someone looks over your YouTube channel or looks through your Instagram feed really quickly, they immediately know what they're getting into. They need to see it within like 3 seconds to know what you're giving them. So yeah. So talking of 2020, fun times, I know. I obviously, being a traveler full time, well, I have a place now in the UK, but before that, I was a digital nomad for about 4 years. So I just lived and worked wherever. I did the whole like Thailand, living in Malaysia, just jumping around Southeast Asia for years and stuff. And that was a lot of fun. And then back through to Europe, and now we finally have a house here. But I traveled so much. And then 2020 hit and it's like everything stopped. My business immediately plummeted in one day. One day, actually, I got all the emails to cancel all of my press trips and things and my booked paid jobs coming up. Everything, every contract had to be void because of what happened, obviously. I was expecting it. I didn't want to travel during that. Even in the early days, I was like, oh no, please cancel. This before it all got absolutely crazy. And they did. They all cancelled. I lost all of my future earnings in a day and my ability to go around and create content. So that was fun. But the thing is, it taught me that everything that brought me my passion came from exploring. It came from traveling, the ideas, the motivation to sit down and go through 3 hours of footage and condense it into a 15, 20-minute vlog for a travel video. My motivation and passion came from being out there and being so excited to race back and tell everyone about it and be like, here's some hints and tips. Here's how you do it. This is how much it cost us. And then it was just completely gone. So my fire was dwindling creatively and I stopped creating. I already suffered with anxiety and depression anyway from other things. 2020 just didn't make it any better. So I completely went offline. I blacked out online and I got therapy, worked through a lot of things. And then when I came back, I started the second channel I always wanted, which kind of links back to the other ones that I was in a box with the travel channel, and 2020 was not the time to be in the tourism industry sector at all. It still isn't the time, to be honest, and I don't know how long it'll take to recover, but I'd wanted to break out of that box for a while. I didn't want to give up on what I created. Like my baby, PsychoTraveller was my baby, and it made me upset to think about losing her, but I couldn't create anymore being in that box. And I was like, well, now is the time for me to start that second channel. So I started a second channel. I started doing all random sorts of stuff. So I can't travel right now and I have no inspiration to make travel videos. So start second channel. I started selling things on eBay. I started reading way more. Like my Goodreads target, it's going to be blown out of the water in a couple of months, I think, because I can't stop reading. So I just channeled what gave me energy now, like what around me was feeding me this like good feeling to just get a camera out and post something and share it. So I had to find that. I found that in books, in thrifting, in vlogging, even just vlogging around the house, baking cinnamon buns and things like that. I had to find the joy in creating again. So it felt like I was starting from scratch. It really did, like starting exactly from the bottom. And it was kind of liberating, and it still is, because it's a small channel and it'd be great if it grew, but I'm doing it because it's fun. And it reminded me of what fun feels like and what the thrill of creation can feel like again. Like when I hit my first 100 subscribers on my second channel, I was like jumping around. I was like, oh my God, this feels amazing. And I remembered that I could just put anything up. It didn't matter. I think I scrubbed my house from top to bottom and filmed it. Everyone loved it. I was like, really? Well, that's all you're doing at home, I guess, anyway. And we just chat and we have fun. And it really rekindled something inside of me. So kind of going back to what I said at the start, it's that beginning stages when no one's watching and you can dance around in the rain, kind of like do what you want, be crazy and post anything you want. And I'm finding my footing again in everything. I just started sharing what drove my energy, really. So that was a big turning point for me in my content creation. Right. Next thing I want to talk about is getting your voice out there. This one is hard. You have to upload a few dozen videos, at least, to try and get your voice out there. It is the minority who become an overnight success and they go viral straight away on like their first video unless they've done something crazy. And even I've watched crazy videos that have not gone viral. How a video goes viral is actually a bit of a phenomenon. We don't really know how it happens. It just does. It just takes off with the wind. Don't expect that. And also, I don't think you'd want that. I really don't. So getting your voice out there, you'll have a small following, but YouTube is full of inspiration on what other people are doing, so long as you're not copying them, but you can take inspiration from them. Of course, SEO and thumbnails are crucial. They are so crucial in your videos being found in the first place. And like I said, I'm not going to go into how to do that because you're going to learn, and there are thousands of videos. Thumbnails and SEO are easy. Mastering your voice is not easy. And that's why I've dedicated this talk to that, finding the you, being unapologetically you, and having fun and following the energy. You have to consistently add value, such as information, entertainment, or escapism. You've got to, because when someone finds you, when you start publishing and publishing and publishing video after video after video, and people start eventually finding you, and people start to follow you because maybe you've got a completely like tight niche, or I don't know, people just start falling in love with your personality and your vlogging or doing general things in a bit more of a variety channel. They're going to start following you, and you have to then be consistent in what you give them, which just circles back to before. Because once you start like owning who you are, it's going to be a lot easier for you to produce more content. It really is. And then the audience that you will gain is kind of like an added bonus at the end. So own who you are. Like I said, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone is going to watch every video you make. You will get hate comments. You will probably cry at some point. You might start to question your own message that you're trying to get out there. And you might start copying others because they're getting more views. There's so many pitfalls to fall into when you start growing. And you'll burn out eventually. But the thing is, everyone wishes for that larger audience. Everyone wants that viral video. But the thing is, can you handle that? I don't know what I would do right now. I've never had a video go viral. I don't know what I would do if I had a video go viral. It's very hard to gain any momentum in terms of community and subscribers with a viral video. Most people will watch the video. Maybe they'll watch it 100 times. They will never subscribe to you. A viral video doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean you can create that community, get your message out there, and do what you need to do. But the pressure becomes immense. Everyone wants this big audience. But when you have the big audience, suddenly all eyes are on you. Your audience is all watching you, the community you've built, and you feel that pressure, which is why I want you to have fun in the beginning, because your voice will get out there eventually. Things will come together. Your audience will come together eventually, naturally, from what you've been creating, putting your heart and soul into it. People will come. Obviously, with SEO and thumbnail, you can't forget, it can't just be about your personality. If you're not going to learn the skill of actually how to work with an algorithm and understand how to make your videos look attractive from the outside. But when you get that audience, it can be immensely stressful because you feel like you always have to please them. And when the video doesn't do well, you think, well, that's it. I failed my audience. And suddenly I'm not good enough and I should just quit. Not like I've ever had that feeling. Good Lord, 2020, I was having it every other day. I should just quit. And that was scary because I've never ever felt that about YouTube, but I did. 2020 made us feel a lot of things, I think. But yeah, so don't wish for too much too soon. And yeah, always just remember that the audience is going to come, the views are going to come. If you want to make money out of it, maybe that will come as well. but please never go into it with that. And yeah, just have fun and follow the energy. Do you avoid watching other similar creators so you don't inadvertently become influenced by them? That is a fantastic question. On my main channel, I rarely watch travel vlogs, which might surprise you. I rarely watch travel vlogs ever. I will occasionally watch maybe a couple of my friends who are also in the travel world, if they've done something or whatever, and I really want to see what they've been up to across the world, wherever they are, wherever I am, and I'll watch that. But in general, no, I don't watch other people's videos within the travel niche. I don't know why. I just don't. Maybe I should think of the why. Why don't I? However, for my second channel, Aly's Other Life, I watch a ton of videos in that sphere because it was never my intended goal to make that channel. You know what I mean? So all like different booktubers. Booktube is an amazing place, and it's kind of sucked me in. That's all. It's the only place I want to be right now. I watch a lot of other booktubers, people who do thrifty videos, things that I'm putting out into my second channel. I'm watching a lot, which is good because I'm finding so much inspiration and figuring out different styles of video, because it's so different for me to do videos on that channel. So I feel I've needed a bit of help and inspiration to push me. There's a lot of trends in like booktube and stuff, and I've jumped on because they look so much fun. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun to do that, but it can definitely, I think, influence you a lot. You've just got to let it inspire you more than influence you, if that makes sense. So SEO, thumbnails, and all that good stuff that's boring will help people discover you, and it's going to be your style and personality that will get them to stay with you. And longevity is not guaranteed on YouTube. We can all see creators come in and out every day, every week. They're popping up and then they're leaving. And it is, you know, I won't be doing YouTube for the rest of my life. I still do enjoy it. But you want to look at longevity of your channel, and staying true to yourself throughout is why it's really going to help you. Because if you start off with this persona, or you try to be someone you are not, and you try to create videos in a style or edit in a style or do topics because other people are doing them, you're not going, you think you'll enjoy them at first, and maybe you will for a bit, but over time, it's going to really hinder you. It's going to hinder you a lot, because suddenly when your heart is not in it to spend as long as it takes to create certain types of videos, your heart won't be in it and you're not going to want to do it at all. And your heart has got to be in it for YouTube. It is so demanding. Like, you have to do everything. You have to master, not even master. I am not a master of barely any of these things, not even close to being a master, but you have to learn all about audio, lighting, camera equipment, presenting on camera, editing, marketing, SEO, Photoshop, all these kind of things. You don't need Photoshop, by the way. Just want to put that out there. I don't use Photoshop. You can use all sorts of things for making thumbnails and graphics. But you need to learn all of these things. And it's going to be super overwhelming. And if you're not enjoying it, if your heart truly is not in it, because you've started down a track that isn't aligned with your heart, again, it sounds cheesy, but it's really true. If you're going off copying someone or trying to do something that isn't really, you know, resonating with yourself, you will burn out. You will not continue, and you won't have a long time on YouTube. And if you do, it will be so miserable. The times I've burnt out, and I've got to, you know, just say, you will, if you go for this for a long time, you will burn out at some point. I still do. I'm very good at catching myself before I do it, though, just because any kind of creative job comes with burnout, because we can't be creative 24/7. And YouTube, and especially when I was traveling, not so much now, it was 24/7, could never stop thinking, always looking through a camera, always checking my phone, always thinking about the next video idea. It consumes you. So you've got to be in the right headspace. You've got to be doing it for the right reason. You've got to harness and be unapologetically you, that inner voice, and grow your confidence for you to last on this platform. And that is my biggest piece of advice. Question is, have you ever remade a video that you did earlier on your channel now that you've got more experience, or is it better to just keep making completely new content? Oh no, sometimes I will definitely redo super old videos, especially information videos, generally because my knowledge has expanded on the topic, and therefore I'll make a new one. So it could be, I don't know, let's think of an example. How to find super cheap flights. I did a video like that 6 years ago, so 5-6 years ago. And then I did one a year ago. It's been about a year ago now, because where I find my cheap flights have changed, and it did really well, and things like that. And those are like evergreen content, which is actually something I should probably talk about. Evergreen content is content that's good year on year that people keep searching for. It's not jumping on a trend. You know, there are videos that I've done, not many for trends, to be honest. I haven't really been following trends ever. I think the only trend I jumped on, which I didn't realize was a trend until I posted it, and someone said, "Oh, you're copying yada yada." I was like, I didn't know yada yada did this, but that's cool. And then I realized it was a massive trend of staying in the worst rated hotels. Oh, I did one in Birmingham, Manchester, and London. So those will do well at the time when that trend is hot. Or if you're talking politics or anything like that, then it'll be relevant then, that day, that week, maybe that month. Then it'll kind of die off. So mixing evergreen content and, you know, falling in with trends and what is happening and letting that inspire your content is really good. I don't know how we got there from your question, but I hope that helped. Yes, I do redo videos, like if it's been like 5 years, and I've got more information, but don't redo them if you have nothing more to add to it. If you've said everything you did and you go back and watch that video and it's like, I can't add any more, don't. Make something new. Always, like, try and, you know, be innovative as much as you can. Another question, do you have any tips for coming out of burnout? My biggest tip is to literally, if you can, stop creating. My only way out of burnout, well, back when I couldn't really catch it before it was too late, and I was just like, I can't do this, is I had to get bored. I had to make myself bored, and sometimes I would take days or like a week of not creating, of like literally doing anything other than checking Instagram, Twitter, and my YouTube stats. I had to let myself get bored, because deep down, I know I'm a creative person, and it's like boredom triggers it. It gives me a bit of a break, which is nice, but it still doesn't mean I want to create or know what I want to create. So letting myself get bored and doing other things definitely helps me out in that. So let yourself be bored. I'm sure 2020, we've all had plenty of that in 2021. Then I want to talk a little bit, sorry, about change. You are going to change so much over the years, and that's really hard. If ever I wanted to just stop traveling, which I haven't wanted to, I settled down. I wasn't like so crazy that I was jumping country to country for years, which was exhausting, which is why I decided to get a base in the UK and travel from that. But if I ever thought about stopping traveling altogether, that would be scary, because everything I have made, my entire niche, my entire brand, my livelihood for so many years, I have to travel to do it. Which has been, you know, as I've learned now, I do have other passions and things that can take me another way, which is what I've learned over the past 12 months. But you'll change, your passions will change, and your audience will change. And you really need to think about that and don't fight it. I used to fight that feeling all the time that I was changing. And I wanted to change my content, and then people weren't responding well. It's not like I was getting hate, but less people were watching. People were unsubscribing en masse from me. I was like, oh no, but you're going to change. But the thing is, your audience is going to change. When I started my second channel, the amount of people who are like, oh, I used to travel 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, just like you did. That's how I found you in the first place. But now I still travel a lot, and it's still one of my biggest passions. But I also love books. I also love this. I also love that. So I've been able to give them that with my second channel. Because you'll change, your audience will change, and change is so scary, because I still don't know what to do with change. I don't. And I've changed a lot over the last 12 months. And I'm going to be brutally honest. I know I'm meant to come in here and give you all the answers, but this is the one answer I don't have. I don't know what I want to do once everything lifted. And it took me so long to accept that, because it's so scary to think about that everything I've built, I feel like I will lose. But having to create again, having that moment of pure panic and just letting myself create on a different channel is really starting to pull me in different directions, and I'm kind of just letting it take me along for the ride. Are there any other platforms that are worth keeping an eye on? I would have said TikTok. I do enjoy TikTok. I think I put like 4 videos up, and my 5th video went viral on TikTok. It's an easy platform to go viral if you want. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So I have had a viral video. I'm so sorry, but on TikTok, it doesn't really count. I don't upload there anymore. I uploaded like 6 videos and then I got bored. It really wasn't for me, to be honest. The comment section is just, I've got a thick skin, but it's just full of children. I couldn't handle it. But I do love TikTok. It does take up many hours in my day if I let it, which I always do. I always let it. It's very bad. But TikTok is a good one because the way the algorithm worked, or how it definitely worked a year ago, I have seen algorithm changes. Anyone can land on the homepage. It's not like YouTube where it's definitely a bias. You're not going to find videos on the homepage of YouTube for you to get those immediate clicks and eyeballs if you've only got 8 views on that video. It could be the best video ever, but they're going to push things that you've watched before from creators you watched before in the same kind of niche. Like it'll just be all travel videos, or it'll be all beauty videos, or book videos, or tech videos, DIY videos, whatever it might be that you've been watching lately and that you've been interacting with and liking. Whereas TikTok, you can stumble across people who have 0 followers and 0 views all the time. I'm scrolling and there's people with 0 views and 0 likes, and I'm the first to see it. And that's amazing for that. That is incredible. A lot of people do go viral on TikTok. Not like it has much longevity. That is a hard one, what I've seen from creators, but I would definitely not dismiss TikTok. YouTube's far too difficult to get that much recognition that quickly. I think YouTube did start a thing where they shone like a spotlight on smaller creators, which I'm pretty sure then they quickly stopped. I'm not going to get into an arguing match about YouTube and doing that right now, because all YouTubers have a lot to say about YouTube. That was something they did, where they put smaller creators in the spotlight, and then they just stopped doing that. I think I have never seen it in the past like year and a bit. I think they did like 3 times. I've never seen it since. It is hard on YouTube. It's really hard to get your videos out there. But when you, to add on to your question, you should be cross promoting on different platforms anyway. You know, taking it over to an Instagram and a Twitter, Facebook if you want, any TikTok, any kind of other social media platform is going to be super important, because some people don't always sit on YouTube and they might get notified about video via Instagram. So at first, you're going to have to really spread yourself around and self-promo to the, you know, till you're sick of it yourself. Instagram's probably the biggest one. However, I know creators are falling off that really badly because of the algorithm again. But yeah, it's definitely hard on YouTube to stand out. So I just wanted to, I don't know, I really wanted to just let you know that it's going to be a struggle, and please do not get in for it for the fame, for money. Good Lord. Please don't get in it for the money. AdSense is not what it used to be. You've got to get into it for all different reasons. You know, I started as a hobby. Ask any successful YouTuber how they started, and 99.9% of them said they started as a hobby with a cheap camera in their bedroom and just started talking. You know what I mean? So I'm starting for those reasons and none other than just to have fun, create a lot of, you know, entertainment, get information out there, and make sure you're just having a good time, because it's a fun job if you let it be fun. If you don't let it be fun, it's just going to ruin you. How long on average do you spend working on a video? Ooh, that depends. I could do a quick sit down video, which is maybe I'm just chatting about a few things I have scripted with some notes or something in front of me. And maybe it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes long and it's raw. I will maybe spend 40 minutes editing it with no special effects, just chop, 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 cut out all the silent parts, put it together, make sure it all flows well, throw it up. Then maybe a thumbnail takes about 10 minutes for a very simple video. So we're looking about an hour to an hour and a half for a very quick, simple, informative video. When it comes to a vlog, like a travel vlog, where you may have 3 hours of footage, it'll take me, I can work on it in a day, but I don't do anything crazy. Like I don't color grade my videos or anything like that. And a lot of people do. So it can take them days or weeks to produce a video. And you can tell because they're super cinematic. I'm not a cinematic kind of girl. I'm more of a, I want to make sure you get this information in the simplest way possible kind of girl on YouTube. So for that, it would take me maybe like a big day out with time lapses, music, creating a story, sorting through all of the footage. It could take me about a day and a half. Probably. I've never actually timed myself making editing one of those videos. So that's a really good question. But it'll probably take me about a day and a half to do that and do a thumbnail. With breaks, I have to take, that is including long breaks between, because when I'm hunched, I just like burn out from editing, because I'm just like going like a maniac, because editing is one of my favorite things to do. I love editing because I'm taking all this raw, sometimes shaky footage and creating a story with it and like compacting it and putting a nice bow on it. So I love editing, but I go hard. So maybe a day, all in all, like an 8-hour day for a massive video. That's watching it through a few times at the end as well, rendering it and creating a thumbnail, about 8 hours maybe. Yeah, if you have any more questions, then please do let me know. I know we'll be wrapping up really soon. But yeah, I hope this has kind of helped. I didn't want it to be super generic and talk about all the boring stuff. I just wanted to give you some real, honest, down-to-earth advice. Can you recommend any good resources for learning to edit videos? YouTube is full. It's absolutely full of videos. I can recommend free software, which I actually use on Windows. I always used, when I had a Mac, I always used iMovie. Right up until I got this, a PC, I always used iMovie and I loved it. There is nothing wrong with iMovie. It's a fantastic app. And sometimes I miss it because now I'm using something more complicated. I miss the simplicity of it. But now for Windows, I use DaVinci Resolve. Completely free. You can color grade, you can add all of these effects. They're really like professional. You can change your audio. So it's called DaVinci Resolve. And if you get something like that, just YouTube DaVinci Resolve like editing tips, and there are so much. Or you could use like places like Skillshare and things like that, which have a lot of courses on them as well. So it's just the world's your oyster. Like when it comes to editing videos, there's already so much out there. If you're just starting out, is it worth spending money on software packages? I would not. I wouldn't bother. I know you're probably thinking like Final Cut Pro or Adobe Premiere. I wouldn't, because there are free things. Like I said, you can use iMovie for Mac. Unless you're familiar already with those pieces of software, go for it. Go for gold. And if you've got the money to spend it. But I wouldn't be spending any money at the beginning. None whatsoever. Download free video editing software. Use your phone to film if you want, if you don't have a camera. What I would recommend on your phone is maybe go onto Amazon and just type in like a lapel mic or an external mic that you can plug in to make the sound quality better, because phones are not great for that. But I use the internal mic all the time on my camera when I'm there. I don't have an external mic. I can't plug one into that camera. So really, the less money you're spending, the better. It's about your storytelling. You've got to make sure that your message and your storytelling is on point. People connect to that. It's nice to have fantastic lighting and phenomenal crisp audio and a great lens. We all love it. But have you ever watched a video that looks like super high production, but it's just rubbish coming out of their mouth? Like there's no cohesion and they're not keeping you hooked. You need to focus on that one first, finding your voice, getting comfortable in front of the camera. Providing value will always come above everything else, because you can have all the bells and whistles you want and spend as much money as you want. It does not a good YouTube video make, though. 100%. That's why I didn't really bring it up, like what to do with software, editing, lighting, what camera to buy. It doesn't matter. You need to be focusing on getting comfortable in front of the camera and good at storytelling and getting your message out there. So yeah, I want to say thank you. I know we're almost out of time now. That went really quickly. Thank you for all the questions that came through, and I really hope you enjoyed this. I am, other than a YouTuber, I'm also an author, and I know that they're selling my book on the Wigtown Book Festival website. So you can go check that out. Just a cheeky plug, just going to put that out there. And if you had any interest in following me after this, and I would not blame you if you did not, I'm at PsychoTraveller on everything. And my second channel, if that sounds more pure, Aly, is Aly's Other Life on YouTube and Instagram. And you can see how terribly inconsistent I am on all of those platforms, because I'm not an expert and I don't claim to be. But if there's one thing I've learned being on these platforms for so long, is that you've got to have fun. You've got to have a lot of fun, because there's certain things, the hard truth is it's going to suck out of you because, you know, it's very demanding being on these platforms and creating, but please just make sure you're having fun. So thank you ever so much for having me. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you again. But I hope everything helped, and thanks for coming.